Hello my friends. Having storage has been a issue for years, and what I'm trying to do is clear up floor space, and to do that I'm putting things suspended. And here I have 3 kayak racks. One kayak is off, but kayaks took a lot of storage space or a lot of floor space, and now I'm finding that my bicycles are being moved. They need to have additional storage also. So my solution is the floater hoist. I installed one of these for my sister. It worked out really nice. It puts the bicycle up to the ceiling and it holds it horizontally, so it's not hanging down like a lot of the other type of racks, so that the bicycle would be infringing on headspace. Some people might not have the room to hang it that way. So the floater hoist will hold the bicycle flat to the ceiling. So let me show you how this is installed. Here's the floater hoist. I got this from Amazon. This was labeled as used, and I got it for $95. So we want to see if any of the parts are missing. First thing we need to do is assemble the beams together, and to do that we have to remove these off the shorter beam, and we remove the ends from the longer beam. Okay, now the shorter beam, the logo sticks outward, and we slide this on. And you can see right here, these are the holes, this is where they line up. After a closer inventory of the parts, we were missing a few items. Again, this is a used, or listed or sold as used. These bolts, the 50 millimeter, 6 by 50 millimeter, and the 6 by 70 millimeter, they were missing. So this was not exactly the same. The heads are slightly different, but they will work. And the 50 millimeter goes in here. You have nylon inserts on the underside. They go into a hexagon socket, so the head doesn't turn. You don't want to over tighten. These rails are aluminum, and the nylon lock nut will keep them from coming loose. These bolts are all connected, and I found the lifting rod inside the one beam. Okay, next take the end caps, snap those in. Okay, now on the main beam there's 2 pulleys, and the pulleys face the center, and the 2 pulleys that are on here, they're staggered so that the ropes won't be in line with each other when they go to the center hub. And then the pulley on the end, same way, pulleys facing the hub. And these clips, these can go on when you align the position on the rafter. These hold the ends to the rafters. and there's a left and right hand. Depending on which the rafters are running, you might have to flip them the other way. The support rod, this is where you need to have a second person. When you lift this to the ceiling, they can support this while you're running screws in. So this is used one time and then it's discarded. So luckily I found this rod. I mean, you could use something else to support it, but the rod was shipped inside one of the beams. So the parts that are missing were 4 screws with 4 nuts and the 3 straps that hold the bikes onto the movable pulleys. So that I'll have to fabricate. Now to put the hoist onto the ceiling, I want to know the location. So I have it laying on the floor, and you need to reference the instructions as far as clearances. Now from both of these ends to the wall, minimum of 12 inches, that end and that end. And then if you connect a line between these two, there's a 14-inch minimum clearance. So you can reference that in the instructions. Okay, now I'm going to place this up on the ceiling. The ceiling joists need to be marked. And looking up here, I'm putting it on these rafters, these roof rafters, and you can see this isn't a level ceiling. And that shouldn't cause me any problem because the angle of that ceiling is very slight. So, but now I need to locate all the rafters. And to locate the studs, I tap with my knuckle and listen to the sound. You can hear a hollow sound. And then when you get where the stud is, it sounds solid. And then I take a thin finish nail. I drive that in, there's a miss. And a hit. Now I'm trying to determine the width of this. That was a miss. The width of this 2x4. That's a hit. There's a hit. Okay, here's the center of the 2x4. After you locate one rafter, you can measure the distance between the rafters, and these are set at 16 inches. Okay, now we'll use the masking tape, temporarily mark it with the tape, and that will give me the location for drilling the screws into the rafters. The best way to locate a rafter is to take the real little rare earth magnets and just slide it around, and it'll stick right onto either the nail or the screw that's holding on there. Or use a stud locator, which I don't have. So this is the old way. It works. Here you can see the tape marking the rafters, and this will give me the line that I can run screws into. So the next thing to do is to secure the frame onto the ceiling, and this is where you need a second hand to hold it, and using that support bar. Once the center one is secured, then you don't need your helper. When you put the ropes in, you're going to have to remember to use this pulley, the free one, You have 3 ropes and they are color coded. So you start the feed from the lock here. Okay. After you run this through, you come over to the carriage pulley out here, like that. Now this pulley feeds on. This one will be the one that hooks to the bike. Now you come from the outside and feed it in here. And then this end you tie a knot and this will secure it. And what I'm doing, I make a figure 8. It makes the overhand knot a little bit bigger. Like that. Okay. Now, this is rated at 55 pounds. So I'm not going to test it with my weight. But now we do the next 2 like this. The next rope I'm connecting to the shorter beam. We start it the same way. Start from the lock side of this pulley. It's got to go over top of the internal pulley here. You need enough rope fed through. Okay, now this one, since we have to go in this direction, we're going to have to take it around the pulley that's right here. And you have to make sure you don't go around that one bolt, so you have to feed it in there and feed it in here. Those 2 locations. Okay, now it goes to this other pulley the same as the first one. So we feed the rope into this pulley. Then we have the pulley that runs to the bicycle, feeds onto that one. And then we feed from the back side again. And then we tie our knot on the end. Okay. Okay, we fed it through the locking mechanism. Come over to this pulley. We add our pulley hook for the bike. So that's on. And we feed this from the back side. And then here we tie the knot again. And that's secured. Ready to hook the bike up and test it. Since I didn't have the straps to hold the bike, I'm using some nylon cord, and you see how I have it looped on there. Now what I'm going to do is tape that onto this hook so that this won't slip off when it's not being used. And I'll do this with all 3 of them. Then when I hook the bike, I just hook it like that. Here I have the bike ready to be hoisted. And you're going to hoist with 3 points. Okay, the 2 far ones will hook to the wheels. And when you hook these up, make sure that the pulley is not twisted, so straighten those out. If it's twisted, it'll tangle and make it harder to to hoist and to lower. So we hook at our 3 points. Take tension on all the ropes. Now pull all 3 at the same time. And it's recommended that you put the chain to the top side. It gives you another inch or 2 of clearance. Here you have, I have the chain backwards. I have the chain down. Okay. Now I have a situation here where I have a fan, and this bike is going to be above the fan. You pull all 3 ropes at the same time, and you can also pull individually. Now you see that rear tire, I need it to make sure I have clearance for the fan. And the reason I'm putting the chain on the downside, if I did it the other way, the front wheel will be on this side, and that wheel could tip and get in the way of the fan. Now to lower the bike, grab your 3 ropes, even them out, raise them higher and pull. You'll hear them disengage. Hold them together as you lower. Floater hoist, pretty easy installation. I did it in about an hour. I purchased a used one, and it came like new condition. It was missing some bolts, and it was missing the straps that go onto the bike. New price was about $138, and used was about $95. So I saved roughly $40. I made my own straps, and I purchased the bolts needed for about $5. So it's best way that I have seen to store a bicycle. It's not hanging down, it doesn't take up headspace, and I have mine tucked up above my ceiling fan. That's my only concern, is make sure that when I turn the fan on, the bike is not in the way of the blades. Very nice storage rack, the best one that I've seen. I installed one for my sister. She loves it. She has a very small garage, and this puts her bicycle well out of the way. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.